How are you, Sylvia?
I'm
I got
dreading.
all my stuff. How are you feeling?
I was really bad last night. Today I just have a cold and I'm drugged, so we're good.
Drugs, that's always good, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna play that cool video. You know, our chapter's not very long, Sylvia. Oh, wait, we better change our,
I'm just trying to get.
oh,
the
you're trying to find the
video.
video.
I think I just have to. Find Facebook.
So you had so much fun? Oh, you
Oh my
do?
gosh, it was so much fun. So,
How long had it been since you've been out there?
a few years. Yeah, probably around 3 or 4 years.
Oh, really?
Well, probably around 3 years. I think right before the pandemic.
It's
I
so
went for my
pretty
son's
there, isn't it?
graduation for his graduate school, and I think that was the last time I was there. So it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's
and
always
I
fun
was
with your
especially, it
family.
was especially fun because there was so many, our other 4 kids went with us, so.
Yes, I
That was
know that. I saw that. So that's what's really makes it fun, right? Is
Yeah.
that everyone was there.
Yeah,
And then you're in vacation mode
yes,
because you're away, you know, you're not in your house. That's the thing about like, even when you want to do a staycation, right?
right. Oh, yeah, that's rough. But we did get some work done and the nice thing about having sellers is that, people just go show the place and you don't even have to be here. And so,
Yes.
we got a deal put
Be
together while
part
we
of
were
their
gone.
group, That's why
Whose group?
James Shaw.
No. No, it should be just able to play right from is it not able to play right from
No,
from
because it
the,
says when this happens, it's usually because the owner only shared it with a small group of people. Changed, you can see her. It's been.
okay, but if we do this, wait, if you did it right from this
Yeah,
link,
yeah,
then it does that?
yeah. Here, you try and press it.
Today, I'm excited because
Yeah,
we're gonna talk
it's-
about something that you probably don't talk
Oh,
about.
We're
maybe
gonna have
we
to
have to
sign
go
it.
to,
Your Facebook, because you're a part of his James Shaw group.
okay,
Does
all
that
right.
make sense? Like, I'm
Yeah,
not a
so-
part of it.
Okay, so let's go, let me go to my Facebook. Okay, now you're gonna test me. So I-
With your passwords?
Yes. Here's my password.
Okay,
So let's see if we,
so is this,
oh,
is it just Vic?
it's probably Vic V Donowitz. Did you have to have my email?
Yeah.
V Donowitz at att.net probably. Okay, Sylvia, hold.
ATT.
That,
That's.
okay, then the password is. Three threes. One threes. Well, let's be logged in. Okay. Message you, is it gonna message me?
Yeah, or on here. Have your able to do it.
Maybe Sylvia can find it.
She put it back.
Yes,
What do we
Sylvia,
need?
it's in the pivot shift ahead group. I said,
Which
I'm
one was
wondering if you could share your screen.
Which one was it? The,
It was called, see, it's not, I'm not getting the email. My AT&T email doesn't come too fast. Okay, let's,
It's like,
it's called, I'll tell you. I think if you search it in there, it's called Get the Money Right. Were you able to see it, Sylvia, when I sent it to you?
yes. Oh, actually, yeah, I do have it there.
Huh?
I actually have it there. I should be able to pull it up from your,
Yeah,
it was
do
a
you have
text,
that?
right?
Yeah, because I think that's why we have to be part of the, you
James
have to be
Shaw.
part of the pivot shift group to show it.
Mhm.
Hi Heidi.
I
You wanna
allowed
come
it
up
so you can
closer?
share it,
Huh?
like screen share the video too, Sylvia.
That's why we left the room smaller.
Do you remember if you, wait a minute, is it the, get the money right?
I could send you the link.
If I can find it.
Okay, yeah,
Heidi,
send me
we're
the link.
starting. Did you
Okay.
find it?
I got
I'm
the.
sending her what you sent me.
no.
Okay. Oh, wait, here.
Are you texting it or emailing it?
Emailing.
Okay, hold on.
Is it better to email it or text it, Sylvia?
It doesn't matter, I just need to know where to
I
look for
just
it.
sent it to you. I think I also put it in the chat as well.
Okay, I got it.
Got it?
Okay, cool. And then will we be able to, Sylvia be able to share her screen? Is everyone participant? And then should we change the camera around?
Up to you.
Yeah, so let's change the camera around so that.
Okay. You wanna try that? You wanna try-
Hello,
Vicky.
everyone. What?
Oh, Jim.
Hello,
Hello.
Jose, how are you?
Good, you?
We were having a little more in, you wanna go back to the regular side? Come on up here.
I feel very intimate right here.
Okay, you can stay there. Oh, yeah, pass the popcorn around. We're just trying to get we have a very special video we're gonna show today. Honey, would you like popcorn? God is in charge of the popcorn. Is that good, Sylvia?
Can you see it there, Brittany?
Huh?
Can you see it there?
Well, I see your
Can you see
screen,
it?
yeah. Yeah, but we're gonna do it at the end.
Okay,
We'll do it a little later. So you can unshare your screen probably.
okay.
Yeah? All right, cool. We'll cue you at the end.
Okay.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Are we gonna video? We're gonna record it?
Oh, it says recording already.
Oh, we've been recording it.
Yeah.
Should we stop and start it? Okay, everyone, welcome to the Shift Book Club. Heidi, why are you looking at me like that? And so today, last week, who was here last week with Ron when he talked about get real, get right? Is everyone get real, get right in the right mindset? Oh, wait, Sylvia, I better turn on this. We have to turn the screen on up there. Yes,
I will get real and get right.
you will get real and get right.
That's right.
You are. Jim, how about you?
Oh, yeah.
Get real and get right. Jose? Definitely. Heidi?
I guess so.
Oh.
Good answer, Heidi. All right, so we're going on to tactic 2. Remargin your business expense management. This is always everyone's favorite topic, right? So in here, it says it's not necessary to change. Survival is not mandatory. Right? But if you don't change, what does that mean? You don't survive. Right? Last year, so the NAR stats say that over 80% of the agents in the market today have never been through a shift, which happened back in 2011, 2012.
However, in that language and sales class, the teacher said that March of 2020, we all experienced a shift.
A shift in
Because a shift in
COVID,
the
because there's a
market,
shift in
just-
COVID,
Yeah,
right? There's.
But
there's a
not like-
change.
yeah, just not shift to like a buyer's.
Yeah, so now we're shifting into a buyer's market, but it's very like, I don't know, is it interesting? Yes,
But then I also, like I was saying, when I did the listing appointment, Mount Prospect still only has 1.4 months supply. So
Yeah.
that's not anywhere.
I was gonna
near
say that. So when you guys are saying, like, we are in 1.4 months
That's
supply,
so
you know, in our whole area, like, it's less than 1.5% month supply. So in a true buyer's market is like 6 to 7 months of supply. So what do you think's causing that mindset of the people's mindset and shift? Because, you know, all the agents I'm talking to also say, oh yeah, I'm feeling an agent. Oh yeah, my listing are staying on. Is it part of their mindset?
Well, I would just say, what, the rate's going up, so people in their mind think that things are changing. I mean, that's gonna affect it, but there's probably just less buyers out there,
Yeah.
but
That's
it's
it.
still like heavy sellers.
But still with 1.4 months of inventory, there's still plenty of buyers out there. I think one
Just
of
gotta
the,
price the property price.
I think one of the mindset things is that for the last 2.5 years, it was like anything good was selling in 3 days, multiple offers. And so it's just, that's just kind of what people got used to, and now we're shifting away from that 3 days on market with 20 offers or 5 offers,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
To 1.4 months and slowing because the interest rates are also spiking. So I think we're just on the very early end of the actual shift towards the buyer's market.
And I would also say, in the past 2.5 years, if you had your real estate license, you could not know what the hell you're doing, take a listing and still sell.
It's so right.
Now you
right.
need to actually have skills to get business.
And now Jose
Yeah.
is working really, he's gonna work really diligently now, like through the shifting market and to work on his skills, and he's gonna come out ahead. Even though your past 18 months hasn't been as great as you would have loved it to be, because there was like, you had to still
Because
have the training
It's
and the
probably a
guidance.
time where like. Within the next year, a lot of the agents that got into the business that aren't sharpening their skills will be the ones that
Oh, right.
Or the-
leave.
So it also says the most successful people are those who have a good plan B. In other words, when change affects your plan effective change. So that's what everyone has to kind of look at. And to shift is to change. It talks about the number one determinant of thriving. What do you think that is? What's the number one determinant of thriving in any real estate market?
How do you
Jeff.
thrive?
How do you thrive?
Lead generator?
Exactly, it's a golden letter. But the number one determinant of surviving is expense management. Right? So the first change, as Gary says, in any business, that you must make is to re-expense itself. So get your expenses lower right now. So who has some ideas on how you're gonna do that?
Well, one thing I was doing, I was expanding the number of farms I was tapping into. So maybe I just revisit that and then kind of shrink down the number of postcards I'm sending out because of the farms, or if I do it every other month versus every month
Right, right.
type of thing.
And what
Jeannie's
else? What
got
are-
something.
oh, hi Jeannie. Oh, sorry,
Hi.
Jeannie. There you were up
Hi.
there. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi. One of the first places to start is to look at your checkbooks or your bank account and your bill, your statements for your credit cards, all of them. And if I miss something, but go through those first. And you see a
Yes.
$4.99 payment each month and you don't know what the heck it is, or it's something you don't really use, but you're paying it anyway. Or if you've got 3 streaming services that are, are all music, pick the one you like the best, dump the other 2. That's like the first place to go through all of your expenses and know what they are, and then figure out. And if you've got a cable bill, can you go call them up? Sometimes you can threaten to cancel and they will give you a better rate. It may only be for a year, but there's stuff like that. And then look into the other things. The other thing that I've learned over since the beginning of this COVID, we started having these conversations real seriously. At the beginning of COVID, Gary Keller was leading some of those conversations. And the other thing is, if it's actually making you money, don't cut it. So
Yes.
if those postcards, if you're sending 500 postcards and you're netting 3 deals, whatever's going to make it more than pay for itself, then don't cut it, because you don't know if you cut 200 that you're cutting the right 200 out of that 500. So if it's making you a return, then don't cut it. So look at the
that's
low
correct.
hanging,
Right,
the
so that's
fruit
really
that's-
the next thing is, right, for every dollar we invest, we expect a multiple of return on that dollar that we spend. So I think, Scott, to that point, when you're saying you're gonna look at your farms, right, and the postcards you're sending, have you been getting a return on those postcards, or what are your thoughts on that? Have you looked at that?
Yeah, a couple of the farms are getting me pretty solid leads and a couple of listings and stuff.
So that,
Then another farm or two are, just
Are not.
quiet.
yeah, but, and then you have to look at how long you've been doing it though, also, right? So just as Jeannie, I think, is saying, is make that assessment before you move forward and cut. But one of the first things, right, is that you do is you take out your business credit card. And we'll talk a little bit more. We're gonna expand this because the chapter is kind of short. We're gonna spend a little bit of time on the chapter about expense management, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more about kind of agent financials and how you look at that. But look at your business credit card and your business checking accounts, right? And go through every line item on that to look at those. That will be very helpful.
Vicky,
Yes,
I'm going to jump in one more second.
yes.
When Gary Keller was introducing this concept, like bringing it and talking about that, he said, not just your business, do your home as well. Because if you have less that you need, it takes some of the stress off of what your business has to provide to you. So it isn't just business, it should be
Both.
everything.
Right.
And and include your other half if they're
Yes,
If
what
they're-
did he say,
if they're
Jeannie?
curious.
You do your personal first and then your business,
Yeah.
or your business first and then your personal?
I guess the important thing is to get started.
Do
But if
them both.
yeah, you gotta do both. But anyway, sorry.
You do them both, but it's
Yeah.
also look at your personal first, like the things that are really just non-essentials, not necessary. Because again, you want to be careful if you are investing in your business and you are getting a return. And we know that, like with your farms and your postcards, that it's gonna take 8, 9, 12 months, 2 years even, right? For those to be effective on a month in, month out basis. So just really look at that and assess that. And so we also talk about playing the red light, green light with the expenses. And we tend to just play green light, go, 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 right? So for Jose, what do you think that means, red light, green light, playing the red light, green light game? Because the rest of these guys have been around Keller Williams for a while, so they probably know what that is talking about. What do you think that means?
With your money.
Yes, and only spend when you have the money to spend, right? So that you're not going, again, it's that whole being, not going into debt. To, in some cases, it could be an investment in your business, but don't keep going into debt. Go, 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 decide what you need to do, figure out how you're gonna get the money, how many houses you need to sell in order to get that money to go. Because one of the big things, right, when we talked about thriving in this business, like what's most important to thrive in the business, Heidi? What is it? Lead generation. So think about how many, let's talk about how many ways can you lead generate that doesn't cost
See,
anything?
I was gonna say. 'cause
Cost
I've never-
zero.
I've never spent money on, just go out there and talk to people, do
Yes.
it organically.
Yeah, exactly. So think about all the ways, instead of thinking about marketing, right? Because we all have to keep lead generating. You probably have to double or triple down right now versus not. But instead of going out and buying all the shiny objects or saying like, oh, there's this new thing coming up, or oh, I'm gonna do another farm and send some more postcards, so I don't have to like really talk to anybody. Instead, there's so many ways today, right, to lead generate with no cost. So Jose, what's one of the ways you're doing it? I know you're doing it, right?
Instagram.
Instagram. And how's that doing for you?
I've gained more followers. I've got a couple messages.
What did those messages say?
How much is this product? What needs to qualify? Stuff like
Perfect. And so, and when you respond back, how quickly do you have to respond back in
that. Very
social?
quick.
Very quickly. And so have they answered you back?
converted any of them to
No,
actually-
not yet.
Not yet? Okay, did you set up the one that said, you know, how do I get a loan? What do I need to get a loan? Have you actually been, you haven't been in contact? Have you been in contact with that person?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, and then did you get them set up with a lender?
No, not yet. They decided to wait a little bit.
Okay.
but
Oh, they decided to wait a little bit.
we're still
Okay.
getting that first message, I think, looking forward.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Even the ones that decide to wait a little bit, Jose, so keep asking questions about why they're waiting, but it's never really too early to have them start talking to a lender. Are they first time home buyer?
Yeah.
Okay, because maybe they aren't gonna be able to get approved today, and maybe that's why they're waiting. But our lenders can help them to understand what they need to do to get approved and at what point they can get approved. So now you're really offering value, right, to them as a service, and that's what you want to do is, you know, is keep in touch with them that way. So continue on those conversations, but exactly, social media, what else is free? Door knocking, picking up your phone. What else?
You can send them a note, but it will cost you a stamp.
Yes, or you could drop it off, but it'll still have to cost you gas. Yes, so I mean, you have to really think about those things, but really that's like sending a postage stamp is really not a lot of, you know, it's not a lot of.
Card,
Mhm.
and people love to get a little. I don't know, whatever.
Door hangers. Right now is a really great time also. Now we're getting to lead generation. That's so important. Your business, right? Your business, I mean, but a lot of the home warranty companies have door hangers because it's time for their heating checkup, right? Or, you know, to prepare for the winter. And so those door hangers with your cards, even, you know, when you're door knocking or just want to place them there, or you want to put them in people's mailbox. I know you're not supposed to put them in
You're
everyone's
not
mailboxes, right? I
supposed
couldn't
to.
tell you that. So you hang them on the
You
mailbox.
put it in the newspaper box
You put it
under
in
the
the-
mailbox.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
That's
So-
not illegal.
Yeah, but finding ways, and again, you know, like some of the home warranty companies, whatever one you use, call them, because then they have the door hanger. And it looks nice, and then you staple your card onto it, right? So you're not having to buy door hangers or print door
Totally
hangers.
understand. For a warranty, they're promoting their warranty on door.
But a lot of times they'll just say that, well, ask them, because previously I know that they've said, oh, time for a heat, you know, time to get your heating checked. That's all. Like, it's not a selling thing. But, and you could also, you know, again, you can also do your mass emails about the winter's coming. Have you had your furnace checked?
Okay.
All right, so now we got into lead generation, which is something that I always go back to. So, most agents, this is page 33, tend to think they are as good as their last best year instead of the average over their careers. And they set up their expectations and expenses accordingly. They tend to think the trend of their last couple of good years will continue, and they underestimate the market's contribution to their success. So for those of us who have been around for a while, it's like, oh, we've always done that, so let's just always keep doing it, even if our business is down 50%, or even if it's not down yet. So that's what they're saying. If it's not down yet, it potentially will be going down. So you need to like look at all of your expenses and decide what you're gonna do. You know, like I did when I had something that was printed, and so then I went to a digital version because I didn't feel like I was getting the same return. And so the digital version is like 25% of the cost of of the print, like of the printed versions. So what other ideas do you have about cutting your expenses? Sylvia, do you have any words of wisdom for us also?
Well, I think one of the things that is said here over and over again is that in times of crisis, you need to survive and stabilize. So we need to, whether it's the shifting market or whether it's our personal business, whenever we're in crisis or we're seeing that our income or our expenses are exceeding our income, we want to survive and stabilize. So we want to, remove all of those extra expenses so that we stay within our means. Because if we continue to spend more than what we're making, we're cutting into whatever our savings, or it's harder to catch up. And so we want to go ahead and survive and stabilize first. And I like what the chapter says is that to make a profit, you have to lower the costs and manage expenses. But then the profit will always be made by the way you manage your money. So that profit margin is determined by the way we manage our money. So in order to increase our profit, we have to lower our costs.
Yep. All right, cool. So, Sylvia taught Dave Ramsey classes to people, so that's why she has many good words of wisdom. So it says continuously in the chapter, if you've read it, Lupe, how are you? Be brutal and cut. Has anybody actually started cutting their expenses yet?
Now, are they talking about overall in your life or just in your real estate business? Everything?
Everything.
Okay.
I think Jeannie had brought that up before.
Yeah,
It's
it's super
everything.
random.
Like nothing goes, nothing goes unnoticed. And so you look at all of your, it's the same thing. You look at all your personal expenses too. Okay, do you need to have Starbucks every day from Starbucks? Isn't Starbucks fancy people? It's like
so
going
I-
to drink
I think she-
for Starbucks or or could you maybe copy this? Yeah, so or Starbucks from the Keurig. What is that? What's less expensive?
I just said, you meant conscious cup. But it's about the same cost as Starbucks.
Oh, it's about the same.
But she's not only conscious cup though.
But you could use it still like as a reward, but then maybe you use your Starbucks Keurig instead of, right? Your real Starbucks, and then you reward yourself every time, like maybe that's your reward when you finish your 9 to 11 a.m.
Or if you set
sleep
an
gen
appointment,
time. Or you what?
Or if you actually set an appointment.
Yes, or if you set an appointment.
There you go.
For every appointment you set, you get to have a Starbucks credit. Okay.
I think
this-
also that we need to know our numbers. So we
Say
need,
that again, Sylvia?
we need to know our numbers. We need to know like how much we spend monthly on our personal expenses, and then how much we spend monthly on our business expenses, including our taxes, so that we know how much we're supposed to be making a month at the very least. And so, especially as realtors, we know how many closings we have coming up in October because September is done, right? So we know how many closings are coming up in October. We know how much money we're going to be making in October. And if we compare that to the budget of how much we're supposed to be making, are we under or are we over? And if we're under, then we need to reevaluate our expenses for October.
Personal budget.
Oh. Oh, wait. Okay, wait.
This one or the budget?
Oh, the personal budget one? Okay, we need to make one more copy.
Mhm.
Oh, here, Jose has the extras. We didn't put that personal budget, but we're passing out the personal budget sheet, so you could go through all your personal line items. All right, and then the other thing, so it's, the thing is to review it, we talked about that, review every line item and reduce, renegotiate, or eliminate, right? So look at all of those things. And when I pass this out, here's the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the monthly profit and loss. So this would have all your business expenses that you can go through. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about that because we're gonna go into a little bit of the agent financials in just a bit. Okay, but to finish up this chapter, it says in the last paragraph, the key to remargining and managing your budget is changing the way that you think. If money matters, then managing that money matters. To be an effective money manager, you must be a budget bully.
Yeah,
They love these.
good one.
I know, I love that budget bully. Challenge everything and make nothing sacred. Because then also when the times get good, you should still live in that same space, right? So when the times get really good, you take that extra money and then you do what with it, Scott?
Buy an investment property.
Reinvest.
That's right, buy investment properties.
Oh,
You join the Wealth Mastermind and you buy investment properties. So when you lead from a position of profit, your world is filled with possibilities, right? So it's all about the profit. So with that, I have one more plug, and that is, remember on October the 6th, we're doing the Profit Share Summit. So and we're gonna show, it's gonna be virtual in the marketplace, and Gary and Linda McKissick, the McKissicks are hosting it, but Gary Keller is gonna be on, and Jason Abrams and a lot of other people, Aaron Kaufman, who talk about profit share. Because one of the things when you think about it, right, this is like truly a gift of an investment and building wealth. And you don't have to invest any money or time. You just have to share, right? The like all of the education and the learnings and the teaching and the culture of Keller Williams. So that's going to be on October the 6th. So we're gonna, you know, and actually Keller Williams is focusing a lot on that piece because it is a great time where agents today are not being supported in the market, you know, and at their brokerages. And we're still going to continue on having our education and our support and our masterminds and our culture. And so this is a great time, instead of being part of the agents that exit the business, that they need to have this education to stay in the business through this market shift. And we're all in it together, and we'll all, you know, actually our boats will float much higher at that point in time. So with that, any other closing thoughts on the tactics? Because then we're going to show a video. It's about 20 minutes, and it's from James Shaw, and then Todd, let me see what his name is, Todd Butzer, who's actually one of the MAPS coaches, but he has a podcast that's called Get the Money Right. And so it's really a great little video, and then we can talk for a few minutes after that. Anything else, Sylvia, before we play the video?
Nope.
Okay, all right, video, Sylvia's gonna play the video because you have to be part of the shift group ahead in order to play it, which is, okay. We can see it good, Sylvia. Uh-oh, we can't hear it. He looks like he's talking very fast, doesn't he?
yeah.
Let's see. You look like, are you unmuted over here?
So
Sylvia's muted herself.
Oh, Sylvia, you're muted maybe. Unmute yourself. Your Zoom. Does
Okay.
that help?
We're going to talk about something
Okay.
that you probably don't talk about enough. And if you don't study and
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
and learn about and do a handful of basic things right, it can cause you some major headache and major problem. And that is money and finances. And I'm excited to have Todd with me today, who is, Todd, you're passionate about this. So I'm excited to have you on. Would you
Yeah.
introduce yourself to everybody? Not everybody knows you, so introduce
Okay.
yourself to us.
Well, first of all, thanks, James, for inviting me on. I'm really excited about doing this. So, my name is Todd Butzer, and I got into real estate in '82, a long time ago. Interest rates were stupid, of course. And fast forward a long way, I got involved with Keller Williams in the early 2000s. I am a member of the master faculty. I'm an investor in a couple of regions, and that's about enough. So.
Well, and you're just an all-around good guy, and you, like I said, are passionate about helping agents understand the financial picture of this. Most of us don't understand it. We got in because we wanted some freedom and flexibility from working for somebody, and we wanted to make a lot of money. And then sometimes we make a lot of money and turn around and we're broke. And it's because we're making some mistakes. You actually started a podcast called Get the Money Right. Tell people about that.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. So Get the Money Right was one of those things, James, where, I'd see you at a convention and I'd say, oh, I'm going to do a podcast. Well, I talked about it for a long, long time, and finally got around to doing it. And it's been a passion of mine for a long, long time because, first of all, to be honest, I was bad at it. When I first got in real estate, I had no idea what I was doing with that. And so I think that drives a lot of it. And I've seen what it can do to people when, number one, you don't get the money right, and the amount of stress and anxiety it can put on somebody versus when you do have the money right. So Get the Money Right is a very informal discussion around money. And we try to keep the episode about a few of them go a little longer. I interviewed my good friend Bob Kalinsky, who you know, and that one went a little bit longer, but I just wanted more time with Bob. So, but in general, or less, and we talk everything from just some myths around money to setting up your business entities, to separating your money in your accounts. We interviewed a certified financial planner. We've interviewed a CPA. We've interviewed megas who have gone from not getting the money right, James, to getting the money right, and what that's done for their families and for their lives. So, and we release them every single Monday, and they're really pretty simple, very informal. There's a way to get on through social media and ask us questions, things like that.
That's great. Well, it's really common for agents to make financial mistakes. I've seen it, you've seen it, I've made them. And so many people have. I always joke when I'm in a room, okay, there's 200 people here today, so that means there's 190 of you that have had some issue with the IRS, right? We've always got some sort of issue. So in Shift, Gary and Jay and Dave chapter 2 is all about expenses and money. And they talk about that. He says, the truth is there's never a good time to nod off and violate the fundamentals of finance. Always think financially awake and alert. That is what long-term successful business people do. And yet we're not taught about it. This is not something we talk about. And again, a lot of people come from another field. What are some core messages around finance and running it like a business that you think agents need to hear right now?
Well, and first of all, going back to that comment from Shift with those three brilliant gentlemen who wrote that, it's exactly right. And what happens is, as entrepreneurs, we get so busy being entrepreneurial and just doing what we do that we fail to look at this part, and it just catches up in a very, very nasty way. So what are some key things to think about? First of all, at this time of year, as we're moving into the 1st of September, now, as you and I are recording this, James, a good test for us would be this. Where are we with our tax due for 2022? Because here's where we should be. And again, there's no judgment. No one's bad, but here's where we should be. Right now, for 2022, we are only 2 weeks away from being 3/4 paid up on our tax due for this year. Now, I did a survey of about 800 agents a few years ago at this exact same time of year. And those that responded, 2/3 had not yet paid any tax this year. 25% had not paid any tax from the previous year. Now, what's interesting about that, of course, no one's coming to your house, no one's knocking on your door saying, you got to give us money. But what they are doing is they're charging you more. And what's interesting is we didn't want to pay it in the beginning, but now we have to pay more for it. And so really just as to how we're doing with getting the money right, so to speak, James, would be, are we 2 weeks away from being 3/4 paid for this year? See, taxes are not due next April. They're due this coming January. That's when they're due. And the return is due in April, and you can extend the return to October. And people sometimes take that and think, well, I can extend the amount I pay. But that's not true.
Right.
So what's happening is we're accruing interest and penalties. So a very first big check off, James, would be taxes. Where are we?
All right, so, and again, this is not an uncommon thing in the real estate world for agents to have some sort of, either they've made a tax mistake or they've got some kind of tax issue. And I love that you're not in judgment about it. I'm not in judgment about it. But what advice would you give to the person that is sitting here going, look, I'm filed my 2021 taxes yet and paid those, let alone even think about 2022. What instant advice would you give them to kind of make them feel a little bit better and know what to do so that then they can prepare for next year?
Yeah, so that's already done. We already did the error, so to speak. So let's get correct about it right now. So the very first thing to do is to begin separating your money on the very next commission check. And what I mean by that is if a commission check comes in for $10,000, and let's say that your company dollar, your broker has already been paid out of that. So that's your after cost of sale, if you will. Okay. Now we've got, let's say, a commission check of $10,000, right? We're going to leave 30% or so in a business checking account, which we can talk about later, but we're going to leave 30% in there, not for taxes. That 30% is for ongoing expenses. Okay. Then what we're going to do is the remainder, the 7, is going to go into our checking account. But from there, we're going to cut another number, ballpark 40% or so, into a tax savings account. So let's start setting that money aside immediately. Get that out, because it's not our money. See, that's one of our biggest challenges in the industry, James, is we get a $10,000 commission check and we put it in our checking account.
Yeah.
But it's not ours. So the first big step is to realize where we are with this and get the money separated. Second step, kind of in conjunction with that, is meet with your tax professional and say, look, here's where I'm at, and these days are over. I'm not going to have these stresses anymore. So help me start today getting this money paid. The third thing then, of course, is start paying quarterlies, even whatever amount you can pay it.
Well, I love just do it on the next check. That makes it really easy. Your next commission check, start doing it right.
Right now.
Number 2, and again, get with your CPA. The IRS will work with you. Just don't hide from them. Talk to them. And get into a relationship with them and get into a flow. And look, they just want their money. They're going to support you, but if you hide from them, it's not going to be good. So talk to them. Okay, this is good. The other thing you brought up then is you got to start running it like a business. You told us you got to put it in your business savings account, your business checking account. Pay yourself out of the business. Look, I was a team leader for 8 years. I would venture to guess 80% of our people commingled all the money. They were, it was all together and all as one. That's a common mistake, right?
Yeah, it's so common. I did a financials class a couple of years ago, and during that class, we had in Keller Williams vernacular, we had an MCA, which is our chief financial officer, so to speak. And they were, I don't remember exactly how we got on the topic, but they said to me, when we get paid our monthly, check for the office bill from the associates, they write us a personal check. And I said, you're kidding me, right? I mean, I've been at this a long time, but that even shocks me. They said, no, they do. And I said, well, how many do? And they said, all of them do it that way. So what you just described, James, is exactly what happens is we commingle. So the step would be this, and incidentally, I interview a great mega, and I don't remember what episode we did it, maybe episode 7 or 8, but I interviewed a mega and I said to her, what was your turning point in terms of getting the money right? And she said, it's when I began treating it like a business. So let's do that. First of all, we are not employees. The great majority of us anyway are not employees. We are business owners. So that business has to have its own business checking account. It has to have its own business credit card. It's not a card we sometimes use for business and sometimes use for patio furniture. It's a business only credit card. Now, what we're going to do with that, James, and this helps with the tax side of it, is we're going to put everything on that business credit card that is business related. So if we're buying a new lead generation tool, or we're investing in some leads, or we're buying some new marketing materials, whatever that is, or we're going to an educational event, we're going to family reunion, all of that would go on that business credit card. So, and that helps us because we want to be able to start tracking legitimate expenses, which the government helps us take care of later on at tax time.
All right, so set it up like a business, and in your state, you figure out what that looks like. And you might have to talk to your, accountant or CPA about how you want to be set up based on certain things tax-wise, and just get that done. And again, don't wait, go do it now, and then start this with your next check. And the process, in Florida, for me to set up my business was ridiculously simple. It took virtually no time whatsoever. And then I was able to quit making the mistakes of commingling and writing personal checks and actually set it up like a business. Then I could hire a payroll company to pay my employees and process that. So I'm paying the right taxes to the state of Florida when it comes to having employees and filing the right forms at the IRS and not worry about all that stuff. So just get it set up and don't wait 8 years to do it. Just go ahead right now. Right now.
Do it
is the
right now.
time.
And you just nailed it, James, is that, yeah, I think for some of us, it seems like it's just this daunting deal, like, oh man, I got to set up a business entity. No, if you're a sole proprietor, that is a business entity just in and of itself. So these are not cumbersome to do. Most people can get it done, frankly, in an afternoon. Go online and figure out what you need for your state and just get this done. Talk to counsel to see, as James mentioned, which entity would best serve you. The most common are a sole proprietorship, which is just you. The second would be an LLC, okay? And the third, that's most common in our industry anyway, would be a corporation that is elected subchapter S status. So those would be the three most common, and there are different reasons to do different ones of each of those. So talk to your counsel. But what James brought up is exactly right. This is not hard to do. You can do it right now.
It seems overwhelming, but once you start the process, it's pretty simple. And again, having the right people around you, like, we're past the point of you're going and doing your own taxes. Don't be a FSBO when it comes to your finances.
Don't do it.
Get in a relationship. When I talked to my person, I thought I needed one thing, and she goes, "Yeah, I don't think you need that. I really think you're better off here, and here's how this is going to work." And I go, "Okay, that makes sense. I was totally wrong." So getting the right partner is going to help. Okay, so let me ask you this. Why the heck is this so darn important? Some people let me just sell some houses and make some money and move on. Why is it so important that agents really look at this as a business, have separate accounts, and get all this stuff straightened out?
It's a really good question because, and I have had countless agents, James, say to me, "Hey, I just look at my bank account. If I've got money in there, I'm kind of good to go." The biggest challenge to this is the expense of it. Mismanaged money is probably for most in the industry their biggest expense. And what I mean by that is the simple act of not taking a deduction that's legitimate, that we should be essentially writing off from our business. For example, if an agent is going to a class today and they're going to go watch you teach, Win with Sellers, and they're going to pay $200 for that class, and they write a personal check. Well, they're writing that check, James, with after-tax dollars. They've already paid tax to write that check. So they had to earn $400 to pay the $200 ballpark, okay? instead of taking a legitimate business deduction, which the IRS wants you to do, by the way. And now instead of costing us 400, it's 100 because we're writing it off. So the biggest reason, well, there's probably a couple, but the biggest reason is it's expensive. And I really believe it causes much more stress on you than you know. And then maybe thirdly, James, I'd say this, and I've brought it up before, and I do believe it. I think when an agent whose money is chaotic, and don't take this weird, everybody, but when their money is chaotic, they're heavily leveraged. They can barely make ends meet. They're messy financially, not bad people. I believe they give off a vibe. I believe when they go meet a seller at a listing tonight whose money is in order, doesn't mean they have a lot, it just means it's in order. I believe they give a vibe off to that seller. I think the seller can pick up on it. And I think most of us can too. When you're around somebody who might be really, really showy in terms of external goods that they have, sometimes you can pick up on the fact that it's not, what's the Texas expression, all hat, no cattle, or whatever. So.
Well, they can definitely tell, and the stress and anxiety it causes you. And again, I speak from experience. I was 10 years ago. I didn't file a return one year, and I'd get nervous to walk to the mailbox. All right, it was every walk to the mailbox was, is there going to be a letter? And then that's when I discovered, wait a minute, when I call them, they'll work with me. We figure it out, and we did. We figured it out. So don't be nervous to walk to the mailbox, and don't come across as somebody that needs this deal. Just get the stuff in order. And I think the word that comes to mind, Todd, is freedom. The freedom that comes with the pause of sitting down and doing this. Would you agree?
Yes. A lot of them have said that, and James, you just nailed it when you said, look, I was nervous going to the mailbox. So here would be my follow-up on that. How effective are you going to be the rest of your day or previously during the day when you're worried about the trip to the mailbox today or tomorrow? How good are you going to be in a meeting with a client or at a listing presentation or at a recruiting appointment or whatever? How good are you going to be when you got that thing, nagging at you in the background? So, I mean, your idea about, look, let's get this stress away from us right now. Let's get the vibe away from us right now. And just by taking some action, you're gonna start feeling better.
You'll feel so much better already. Yeah, it's
I
true.
agree.
The podcast is Get the Money Right. GetTheMoneyRight.com is where you can start anyway. And then for those of you who are Inspire members, Todd's going to join us on our Inspire call to go a little bit deeper and answer some of your questions. So Inspire members, that's coming up this week as well. Todd, any kind of final last words? I just appreciate you doing this. It's not a conversation we have a lot. We don't do a lot of training on it outside of Agent Financials. So I appreciate it. What's your final thought you want to share with everybody?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, James, for all you do, because you're an amazing influencer in this company. You've taught so many people so many great things with their business. I guess my final thought would be this: is that you don't have to live in this lane. Some people say, well, I'm just not good at that. You can get good at this. It's not hard. And actually, like you brought up, it's the word freedom. I think you have friends and relatives and colleagues around you that give off a different vibe when they are comfortable in this area.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean they're ultra wealthy. It just means they've got this figured out. And incidentally, if you already have it figured out, go help somebody who doesn't.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh my goodness. And share the podcast with them. Get the Money Right. Todd, thank you for being on. Appreciate you very much. And
my pleasure.
Thank you everybody for watching.
So anyway, I thought that was interesting to be able to share that, especially as we're now going to go into 2023. We're going to go into business planning clinic. That now's a really good time to look at your finances and get those in order as we go into business planning, right? Because that's a part of the business planning process. And there is a class, and we talk about it a lot, and we're actually going to do this class, but we ran out of time this year before business planning clinic, but it's called Profitability Agent Financials, which some of these forms are from. And so we will probably do that sometime later this year, you know, so that you can go into 2023 with it, right? But this, I thought this, and so this financial fitness assessment is out of agent financials, but that we could just go over them kind of quickly and give, you know, just some feedback on it. But having a stated profit goal for the year. So when you're thinking about that, you know, so think about that as you move through and do your business planning. Use a written budget for your business, which will be the output of your business plan. Use profit and loss statement and review it monthly. So one of our goals this last year was that all of our agents would have a profit and loss statement, right? And have that ability. So we're gonna work on it again next year in 2023, even if it's something that's very simple. So we're gonna actually, I have Danny is gonna be working on one of the MREA forms for me, because there's some that are quite a little more complex to like track and put together. We're gonna try to simplify that just a little bit so you can start. If nothing else, if you just have your separate checking account and your separate credit card account, and then you keep your cash things, you know, separately, like your cash business expenses, at the end of the month, you can just take your, by the way, this is a really great report for doing your business. So everyone in reports, if you look, Jose, in the top in command in my KW, there's a report that's called the monthly production summary. It gives you your listings taken, your contracts written, your contracts closed by listing and sales, which you'll need to fill out that MREA. It gives your GCI, how much company dollar you paid, how much royalty you paid, and what your 1099. So that would be your take home pay before, right? And then you have to go and deduct all your taxes and your expenses from it. And you'll learn about this model we call the 30-30-40. And so that's what all of these documents in our budgeting and our planning work towards, so that 40%, right, of that take-home pay should actually be profit for you as part of your salary of what you live on and save from, etc. Okay, so have a separate business and personal checking accounts. Doesn't really cost any more, and a separate credit card as well for your business. So keep those separate. Contribute to a tax savings account regularly. So every time you get, that's what James was saying. If you haven't done it before, just start now. Like start with this next commission check that you get. Pay estimated taxes quarterly. You know, you'll talk to your financial person about that. Have an advisor, a CPA. Track your business miles driven, because that's all deductible. Keep receipts of your business expenses. Pay yourself a regular salary. So once your income starts flowing in, pay yourself and then live off of that salary, and don't start tapping in. And also have some that you've allocated to, to savings or investing. Use the Millionaire Real Estate Agent chart of accounts, which I gave you a copy of that. That's also, and we'll once we get that more simplified spreadsheet, we'll send that out to everyone. But that's a really great thing to just keep track of every month, even if you handwrite it in, right? And add them up at the end of the year, it gives you all the accounts to keep track of. Scott keeps a little more complex one, right? But and there's many versions of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, chart of accounts. Some of them are like really complex, and there's other ones that are middle, but we're going to just try to do one that's much more simple for people so that you could really keep track. And it'll all add everything up for you. Know the average cost of each of your transactions, what it costs your business, even if you make no money. Have an active profit share tree. Again, another stream of passive income. The goal of wealth, right, which is the freedom to do what you choose to do, is created from having multiple streams of passive income. Does anyone know, for a millionaire, how many streams of passive income do they have on average?
7.
Yes. Jim, you must have been reading the same books as I. Huh? Well, it could be any 7.
Real estate
varies.
investments.
Yeah, it varies
Side
depending on
business.
the person.
Profit share, your stocks,
Yeah,
it could
that's
be,
just that.
could be other businesses, companies that you're in, but on average, that's what they say. I don't know how many Gary Keller has. He probably has I think they said like 1,500 or something.
1,500?
Yes, well, he's invested in like
Oh,
1,500
yeah.
businesses, right? And he doesn't own 100% of any of them, right? He profit shares everyone. Have a solid plan in place for your financial future and have no outstanding consumer debt. So that would be one of the first things, right? As a Dave Ramsey, right? Consumer debt is to, if you
Well,
have
credit
consumer
cards and
credit
stuff.
cards and stuff, is to pay those down and then use your credit card, but pay them off every month, right? Don't spend more. That's that red light, green light. Don't
Can I
spend
take a
more
picture of that when you're done?
of this.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Is
have
it
it.
in the?
Yeah, no, I have. Oh, yeah, look on the, it's, I gave it in the handouts. And also for those of you on Zoom, it's in the Facebook group.
Oh, you're just reading off the
Yeah,
notes. Oh,
yeah,
alright.
yeah. So this is just that assessment. So this would be something good to go through before you get to business planning clinic. And then if you do this, right, Scott, you'll be quite well prepared for the business plan. And you'll go into 2023 with a great business plan. Okay, we have a couple more minutes. Any other questions, comments from Zoom, from the room?
Just
Zoom
circling
in the
back
room.
on that profit share tree thing.
Yes?
Of the 10 agents I sent you, how many do you have appointments for?
Oh, so Scott just referred me 10 of his co-op agents.
It's
That you want me to
literally just
have-
the last 10 transactions.
Yeah, his last 10 transactions. And I have texted and spoken with all of them. I have 3 R2 appointments from those 10 that are coming in to talk to us. And it's again, the market's shifting and the agents are feeling very unsettled
Yeah, I
And-
get disgruntled that they're.
and they don't
Right,
have the same kind of support that we have. The last 2 years, business has been easy, Jim, as Jim was saying, like you could like trip over business. But it's changing and so it's going to a skill-based market. So the fact that you're here today and we're continuing to learn will be really great. And yes,
So
so
super simple thing is just get your last 10 transactions or 10 agents that you know, put them in a list, send them to Vicky.
yes,
Put a little note on how you know them.
yes, put a note on how you know them.
Vicky's got
And then
something.
I'm happy to speak with them
Yeah.
and, because, and it's really about helping people. I mean, I've had like 4. I think what I also did is I had reached out to a lot of agents and I've recently reached out to my whole little stack of my folders. And I'm about halfway through that, but I probably had 4 independent brokerages that have, like quickly raised their hand and said, I'd love to come and speak with you because they're just, they're businesses,
Around.
Yeah,
yeah, and they need
So-
our help. So,
that's a great way to grow your profit share tree.
and create a passive form of income, no investment. Okay, anything for anyone else?
Does anyone have any buyers looking for Mount Prospects? 4-bed. Awesome house that's like 500K.
Did you post that on the Facebook group too?
Well, it's not.
Yeah.
Formally
it's not.
listed yet, but I'm
Oh.
just.
Oh, yeah, okay, this is an insider listing, so
Perfect.
that's good.
Very pocket. Very
A
pocket.
pocket listing, yes, yeah,
Get it
So-
going into the market.
get it in, yeah.
Beautiful. Really nice.
Chris, did
Scott,
you?
what's the price point?
It's gonna be, we'll probably be listed at 525.
Oh, yeah, okay. A little over my buyer's budget.
Okay, well. I'll
Good luck,
I'll-
though.
I'll let you know.
But go
It's
find more.
Really, oh,
Okay, Jim, so now go find one for him.
are they looking at
here.
Mount Prospect? Chris?
What? Yeah.
Okay, what's their budget?
Well, they're like 250-ish.
For single family?
No, it could be, but, or
Okay.
a townhome or a condo.
Do they have any areas that they've been honing in on?
Her base was Mount Prospect, but she's pretty broad. Pretty much.
No, like specific neighborhoods or?
Oh,
something?
no.
Okay,
Cause Jim will go door
yeah,
knock.
I'll go now, knock some doors for you.
Yeah. That's another thing. So if anybody has buyers that they're looking for, that you have a need for, go knock some doors.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Jose, that's a really great technique as well. Like people have buyers looking for homes and it's not right in their area. It might be in your area or your farm, that you can go knock on doors. Okay, cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Oh,
Scott, I have to tell you one thing too about somebody. Go ahead, Jim.
No, I was just gonna tell him, so the guy that called you this morning.
Oh, I'm gonna leave this on.
I
Thanks,
talked to him.
Jeannie.
He's like, I gotta get one thing out of the way. He's like. I am a cannabis cultivator and I will be growing cannabis in the house. I'm like, oh, great. So then he
She was like, you're my new best friend.
But it's just interesting because. Obviously.
Okay, actually ask,
But I'm gonna talk to Lisa to
So
see
be it.
what our.
you know, I also.
had it like.
As
If
well.
I find a single family.
Yeah.
Well, plus he
Yeah.
has a-
And
Oh,
also
he's
they-
worked for a big company. This is just for his person, wherever he lives. Yeah, oh, But the way you said that.
Oh, is he
he
here?
had it set up where he
Okay,
probably
perfect.
got
He'll give you his
state-of-the-art
own
and
account.
it's
And then
worth it.
ask him for his.
The dude sound, I mean, he just landed a new gig with one of the big distributors.
And so, although there's
But,
probably is a place.
I just have to
like, I
talk
don't
to
know,
Lisa, because I don't
like
know if there's,
Arturo, I'm sure.
you know how you can't discriminate against like
Him.
race
The
and
other
stuff.
good thing
I wonder if
is
there's new
to
laws
get-
about
Oh, you do a lot of things electronically.
discriminating against people
But there's like an open
with
house book.
medicinal cards
that-
that want to
that, you know,
grow
yes,
up
because
to
that's like a
6
model
plants or
that
whatever.
I don't think you
that
could.
you,
Yeah.
keep,
If it's like,
because
if
then
it's
it has
legal,
all of your past.
be
open
it
house
through
people.
medicinal card or whatever.
And I told him, hey,
then
And so
yeah.
that's,
bet-
another thing. The other thing is you could try
said,
to
I'm
do.
gonna find your place, then you can take me some extra freshen.
I
You know,
see.
some of the green.
Oh, yeah, my neighbor.
But
my
ask-
neighbor-
ask Arturo.
Like over. It's like right along, it's right fence line, there you go. Above the fence line, he's like, this is way more than I thought it would grow, so I'm just gonna like. Give you a whole bunch after I harvest it.
Is Lisa here
So
today?
Scott,
Yeah,
I talked to this,
I've got a call coming in
Oh.
any minute.
okay, this Tim Winfrey.
Yeah. The sun.
Unfortunately, yeah, the sun. But you know, you bought it, that first plant, really, or whatever.
Looks good.
Oh,
like
like
your
water.
garden or something?
You can't really.
It's like the draw.
Yes, I said, oh, well, this is much,
Yeah.
because he goes, yeah, he goes, because I had all time, you know,
Looks good.
but he goes, but then, you don't have to. But after that, I might be.
Well, there you go. You're still recording. By the way.
Oh, stop.
Oh, come on.